During the Viking Age, spanning roughly from 793 AD to 1066 AD, weapons were essential tools of warfare and symbols of personal status. Although popular culture often portrays every Viking warrior carrying a sword, archaeological evidence and historical research present a different picture. Most Vikings fought with spears, axes, or bows because these weapons were far less expensive to produce. The sword, by contrast, was a luxury item. Owning one required considerable wealth, making it one of the clearest symbols of prestige in Viking society. A sword was not simply a weapon, it represented social rank, economic power, and political influence. The primary reason Viking swords were so expensive was the quality of iron and steel required to manufacture them. Producing a strong, flexible blade demanded skilled craftsmanship and access to high-quality raw materials. During the early medieval period, iron production was labor-intensive. Blacksmiths first smelted iron ore inside bloomery furnaces, producing a rough mass of metal known as a bloom. This bloom contained many impurities and had to be repeatedly heated, hammered, folded, and refined before it could be turned into usable steel. Every stage required experience, fuel, and many hours of labor, making sword production significantly more costly than manufacturing simpler weapons. Forging a Viking sword demanded exceptional skill, unlike axes or spearheads, which could often be made from a single piece of iron. High-quality swords usually required pattern welding or carefully combining different grades of iron and steel. Pattern welding involved twisting and forging together multiple iron rods before attaching a hardened steel edge. This process improved flexibility while reducing the risk of the blade breaking during combat. The distinctive wavy patterns visible on some surviving Viking blades were not merely decorative, but reflected advanced metallurgical techniques used by experienced smiths. Many of the finest swords used by Viking warriors were not produced in Scandinavia itself. Archaeological discoveries show that numerous high-quality blades were imported from the Frankish Empire, particularly from regions within modern France and Germany. Frankish blacksmiths were renowned throughout Europe for producing superior weapons. Some of these imported blades bear the famous inscription ULFBERHT, one of the best-known sword marks of the Viking Age. More than 100 ULFBERHT swords have been discovered across Europe, demonstrating the extensive trade networks that connected Scandinavia with continental Europe. Modern metallurgical analysis has shown that some genuine ULFBERHT blades contained exceptionally pure, high-carbon steel that was technologically advanced for the period. The Frankish rulers understood the military value of these weapons and attempted to prevent their export to potential enemies. Historical sources indicate that Carolingian authorities introduced laws restricting the sale of high-quality swords to Viking traders. Despite these restrictions, swords continued to reach Scandinavia through trade, smuggling, diplomatic gifts, or battlefield capture. The presence of Frankish blades in Viking graves suggests that many Scandinavian elites were willing to pay enormous prices to acquire these prestigious weapons. The hilt of a Viking sword often added significantly to its value. Wealthy owners decorated hilts with silver, gold, copper alloys, intricate engravings, and precious materials. Some featured elaborate geometric designs or animal motifs characteristic of Norse art styles. Decorative inlays demonstrated not only the owner's wealth, but also the craftsmanship of the artisan. Even when two swords possessed similar fighting qualities, an elaborately decorated hilt could greatly increase the weapon's prestige. Because of their value, Viking swords were carefully maintained throughout their owners' lives. Blades required regular sharpening, polishing, and protection from rust. Damaged hilts could be replaced while the blade continued to serve successive generations. In many Viking families, swords became valuable heirlooms inherited from fathers to sons. Some weapons were given personal names, reflecting the belief that exceptional swords possessed individual identities and histories. Norse sagas frequently mention famous swords such as Gram, Skafnung, and Tyrfing, illustrating the cultural importance attached to these weapons, although many saga accounts blend history with later literary tradition. Archaeological evidence further demonstrates the high status associated with swords. Rich Viking graves often contained swords placed beside their owners, while poorer burials usually lacked such expensive weapons. The famous ship burials at sites such as Oseberg and Gokstad in Norway reveal how elite individuals were buried with valuable possessions, including finely crafted weapons. The inclusion of swords in burials reflected both their material value and their symbolic importance within Viking society. For ordinary Viking warriors, however, the spear remained the most common weapon. Spears required far less iron, were easier to manufacture, and served multiple purposes in both hunting and warfare. Axes were also widespread because they functioned as everyday tools as well as effective battlefield weapons. A farmer already owned an axe for practical work, making it an economical choice during military campaigns. Purchasing a sword demanded resources beyond the reach of most free farmers, explaining why relatively few swords have been recovered compared to spearheads and axes. The sword also carried important legal and political significance. Scandinavian leaders often rewarded loyal followers by presenting them with valuable weapons. Receiving a sword from a king, jarl, or chieftain represented honor, trust, and military service. Such gifts strengthened political alliances and reinforced personal loyalty within Viking warbands. Because swords were scarce and expensive, they served as prestigious rewards that few leaders could distribute in large numbers. The rarity of high-quality swords meant they frequently appeared in long-distance trade, diplomatic exchanges, and military campaigns. Successful Viking raids sometimes yielded valuable Frankish weapons, while trade routes extending through the Baltic Sea. The rivers of Eastern Europe and even the Byzantine Empire provided additional opportunities to acquire luxury blades. The economic networks that supplied these swords illustrate that the Viking Age involved far more than raiding alone. It was also an era of extensive international commerce. Modern archaeological research continues to improve our understanding of Viking metallurgy. Scientific examinations using X-ray imaging and metallurgical analysis reveal differences in manufacturing techniques, steel composition, and repair methods. These studies confirm that the finest Viking swords represented some of the most sophisticated metalworking achievements of early medieval Europe. The reason only the rich could afford Viking swords was therefore not simply the cost of iron. A sword represented hundreds of hours of specialized labor, advanced metallurgical knowledge, imported materials, artistic decoration, and access to long-distance trade networks. It functioned simultaneously as a weapon, a luxury object, a political gift, a family heirloom, and a visible symbol of social status. While the spear remained the weapon of the ordinary warrior, the sword became the unmistakable mark of the Viking elite, reflecting wealth, prestige, and power throughout the Viking Age.